December 8th, 2025, a Nigerian Air Force C-130 makes an emergency landing in Burkina Faso. 11 soldiers on board. Within 8 minutes, they're surrounded, detained, and the aircraft is impounded. It sounds like a bureaucratic headache. Maybe some paperwork got lost. Maybe someone forgot to file a flight plan. It is not that. This is a story about the end of an era, the rise of a new military bloc, and the moment Nigeria realized it no longer runs West Africa. The Nigerian C-130 was on its way to Portugal for maintenance. Mid-flight, the crew reported technical issues. They requested an emergency landing and touched down in Bobo Dioulasso, Burkina Faso's second-largest city. It should have been routine. It wasn't. Security forces immediately surrounded the aircraft. All 11 soldiers were detained. The plane was seized. Burkina Faso announced that Nigeria had violated its airspace without authorization, and then something extraordinary happened. The alliance of Sahel states, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, placed its entire air defense network on high alert. Fighter jets ready, anti-aircraft systems activated, borders tightened. These are not the moves countries make over a paperwork error. These are the moves countries make when they believe an enemy may have entered their territory. Nigeria's initial response was silence. Hours later, a carefully worded statement. The Nigerian Air Force insisted it was a routine ferry mission to Portugal. Technical issues, emergency procedures. The crew was treated well. But the alliance of Sahel states did not believe that explanation. And to understand why, you have to go back 48 hours. On December 6, 2025, a coup attempt erupted in Benin Republic. Armed men stormed government buildings. Nigeria responded instantly. Fighter jets deployed. Airstrikes hit rebel positions. The coup collapsed within a day. It was a clear demonstration of Nigeria's ability to project force beyond its borders. 2 days later, a Nigerian military aircraft appears in the airspace of the Alliance of Sahel States. According to Nigeria, the plane was heading to Portugal and had engine trouble. According to the AES, this was an unauthorized military aircraft from a country that had just bombed targets inside a neighboring state. For them, this was no coincidence, and their reaction makes sense when you understand what the Alliance of Sahel States actually is. In 2023, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger walked away from the old order. They left ECOWAS. They rejected sanctions after their coups. They distanced themselves from Western partners. They abandoned counter-terrorism strategies they believed were failing. And they refused to keep operating under Nigeria's regional leadership. So they created something new, the Alliance of Sahel States, a military pact that promises mutual defense, shared intelligence, and full control over their own borders and their own skies. A bloc with Russian trainers, Chinese weapons, and a single message: we no longer answer to ECOWAS. And Nigeria is the face of ECOWAS, the largest economy, the strongest military, the country that enforced sanctions, country that intervened in regional crises, the country that set the rules for decades. So when a Nigerian military aircraft crossed into AES territory, just 48 hours after Nigeria launched airstrikes in Benin, the alliance did not see an emergency landing. They saw a potential threat. They saw the old regional hegemon entering the space of the new one. The detention of those 11 soldiers wasn't simply law enforcement. It was a message. Your power stops at our border. For 50 years, West Africa operated under a single political and security framework. ECOWAS coordinated diplomacy. Nigeria provided leadership and military muscle. Regional forces conducted joint operations. France maintained a strong presence. Western countries funded counter-terrorism. That world is over. The Alliance of Sahel States is now a rival center of power, more militarized, more defiant, more aligned with non-Western partners, and increasingly willing to challenge Nigeria directly. This division has consequences. Counter-terrorism cooperation is weakening. Intelligence sharing has broken down. A routine flight can trigger a regional standoff. And trust, the foundation of regional stability, is evaporating as insecurity rises across the Sahel. 11 soldiers, one plane, one emergency landing, and a region that can no longer tell the difference between a technical malfunction and a strategic threat. According to the Nigerian Air Force, the crew is safe, received cordial treatment, and plans are underway to resume the mission as scheduled. But the fact that this even became a diplomatic incident at all is the story, because it shows something bigger than an aircraft or an emergency landing. West Africa is changing, and December 8th, 2025 made that impossible to ignore.